Welcome to Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Kinderwater, and again, we can still say to you, Happy New Year, Happy 2026. This program today is a delight for you and for me. I have Miss New Mexico 2025 as my guest, Madyson Kettler. She is such a beautiful, engaging, and talented young woman, and we're going to talk about the pageant, what it means to kind of empower women to lead with purpose, talk about the educational advances of the Miss New Mexico program and, of course, Miss America, but also talk to Madyson about her community service initiative called Get Going. Get Going empowers senior adults to stay active and engaged. And a lot of our viewers are seniors or will become seniors soon. So I think what she has to say will really hit home to a lot of us. And if not to us, to our grandmas and grandpas and moms and dads, and something we can look forward to, because get going is really important. And again, Madyson has that message with us today. So please stay with us as we meet Miss New Mexico 2025, Madyson Kettler, right after this. As I said, it's a treat to have Madyson Kettler as my guest today. Welcome to Issues and Answers.
Thank you, Diane.
All that you're doing as Miss New Mexico 2025. You look lovely with your tiara and your Miss New Mexico badge for Miss America.
Yes, yes, it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
You are a Rio Rancho High School graduate and a University of New Mexico graduate with a degree in exercise science. Yes. What a fabulous degree.
It's been incredible, and it's such a great tool to head into physical therapy, which that's really where my passion lies. So I'm excited to see where it takes me.
Fantastic. I want to hear, as a senior and as our viewers are senior, what your community service program Get Going is entailing. But also, let's talk a little bit about the advantages of being in the Miss New Mexico pageant, not just for yourself, but for the other young ladies who may be watching this program, or their parents might be watching. Again, I read a little bit about the mission is to empower women to lead with purpose, advancing education, service to our community, scholarships and success, guiding lifelong foundations, sisterhood, and civic responsibility. Yes. Of course, it's a beauty pageant, but so much more.
Yes,
Please tell me
absolutely.
how much more it is.
Well, so there's so many different aspects to the competition. Of course, there's that first interview section, which I have found to be really important. To be able to even sit here today and speak with you, Diane, it's such a great tool to just practice connecting with people and really carrying yourself with confidence and grace. Stepping into physical therapy school interviews in January, I feel like the interview process of Miss New Mexico and, of course, Miss America has been super beneficial and helpful for that. So that's the first stage of competition.
So the first stage is the interview.
Yes, yes, that's what you start with. I think,
and we can share, you have to apply to do this. And again, January is a time for our viewers, if they're interested in being in the Miss New Mexico. What are the age qualifications for it?
So there is a teen program and division that is teenage years up to 18, and then when you're 18 you can choose to compete as either a teen or a miss, and from there's a division for miss, which is what I am, from 18 till 28. And so yes, our new program will be starting in January, and so if people are interested, they can reach out to our director at missnewmexico@yahoo.com. Just send her an email and we can share lots of information, because it really is such an amazing program to be a part of.
So you're part of the program, but part of the program is the interview process.
Yes, so that
now
was
you're
step
saying that's
one.
the pageant? At the pageant of the New Miss?
Yes.
And I think that's in Alamogordo.
It is.
So that's part of the pageant, but let's go back up a little bit. Prior to the pageant, when you apply, there's a cost involved. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of fundraising that we participate in that our director, Rhonda, actually helps us kind of work towards. So again, you start everything in January by just kind of reaching out, asking questions, and then we do have an orientation that kind of helps get everything under one kind of image, something that we're working towards kind of as a group, as a class of Miss New Mexico competitors. And then from there, it's really important that each contestant takes their own initiative. So for me, that looked like being in the studio for multiple hours every week, practicing my modeling in my heels, in my sneakers for fitness. I'm a dancer, so I spent many hours in the studio choreographing my talent for last year's competition. Of course, cleaning it, perfecting it. I wanted to make sure that everything was ready for stage. And then another big part of preparation is preparing that community service initiative, kind of sitting down and brainstorming, who am I? What do I care about? Where's my passion? How can I make a difference? Like, what is something that is bigger than me that I can kind of work towards for, you know, our local community, whether it's the Albuquerque area or even statewide? And then, of course, competing at Miss America, it has to be something that can apply to the national stage.
But how nice to find really like introspection of what you are. That's nice, Madyson, to say that, and you've found your passion. And of course,
have.
That is and I'm so delighted for you to have a passion, because I have a passion, and it's incredibly important to have that, to have a purposeful life, and you have it, and it's very healthy, a good one. But all the women who apply, though, are they accepted into the pageant?
Within the state of New Mexico, once you apply, you kind of work towards finding where you want your local title to be. So we don't do a local prelim. For us, you are able to select your local title, and from there you start working already in that community, so you have a full year working towards, you know, the community service, being a good community representative.
So was yours Albuquerque?
No, I was Miss Corrales because I live in Corrales.
Okay, well then.
It's very sweet, sweet little village.
Okay, so so there's a whole year of work to do prior to the, I think it's September pageant.
September is the Miss America,
but
and then we're in June.
Mid-June.
Yes.
So if they apply in this January, will they be ready for this June, or will it be the next June?
It will be this June.
Oh, there's a
so
lot to do.
Starting in January of 2026, then you would compete at state in June of 2026.
So there aren't any local, like Miss Corrales, Miss Albuquerque.
No.
It's all the Miss New Mexico.
Yes.
In Alamogordo. So that's in June, but there's a lot of preparation.
Yes.
And again, you found that your passion was the Get Going program.
Absolutely. I can kind of share where that comes from too. So growing up, I was super close to my grandparents. My grandmother was my best friend, and my grandfather was my hero. Unfortunately, as they aged, I kind of saw that process taking a toll on their bodies. Movement becomes a bit harder. There's a bit more aches and pains. And, you know, that was kind of like near and dear to my heart, hard to see. And of course, losing them, that kind of became my initiative to take a stand for senior adults across our state. 23% of our state's population will be ages 65 and older by the year 2040.
Almost a quarter of our population will be elderly.
So it's crucial that we have aging programs that support senior adults, because it is such a large part of our New Mexico population. These are individuals who have poured into us, who have given us a legacy, and so it's really important that we're supporting them. So that's kind of where this desire to serve senior adults started. With that also, I want to be a physical therapist, and I want to serve in geriatrics. So it's all kind of connected, even career-wise for me, with my community service initiative. So then I created a website called Get Going, and it's at getgoingnow.org.
Getgoingnow.org.
Yes.
We can all look at for that. Okay.
Yes, and on that website, there's a bunch of resources for senior adult aging. There's movement videos, how to stay active. There's seated chair workouts, standing workouts, anything that would be safe and accessible for individuals in their homes. There's question and answer sessions with exercise physiologists to discuss what are the benefits of exercise and moving as you age. And of course, there's also interviews as well with physical therapists, which that is exactly what I want to go into. So it's amazing. I did, yes. I was able to interview.
This whole website.
Yes, yes.
Can you share with us anything that's kind of surprising? Some things are kind of basic. I mean, sitting exercise, standing exercise, you know, making sure you're safe, you're holding down to something.
Yes.
But anything in your research and doing all this, Madyson Kettler, that was kind of surprising to you as a dancer, as someone who's very active? Like, oh, I didn't know that.
I think for me, the biggest thing that I've noticed is balance for senior adults. As a dancer, I've been a ballet dancer my entire life, and so balance has been like second nature. It was trained into me starting at the age of 2. But as individuals age, they often lose their balance, and it's because they may be seated in a chair all day. They're not up on their feet as much. They may not be cooking meals all the time, so they're not kind of shifting between feet. So it's really important for senior adults to continue to practice balancing. And that's also on my Get Going website. There's several different ways to do that. Of course, please, if you're going to practice balancing, stand with your hands on a counter, never a chair, because that can run away from you. We want something that's very secure. But there's different stances that you can do with your feet to further progress that. And so for me, that was just crazy to learn because it was such second nature.
And balance is, well, when you get older, you'll see some people shuffle, you know, when we're in these big box stores with the cement floors, I like to shuffle so I don't fall. But balance, and with yoga, they do a lot with balance, and talked about how critical the balance is, because if you're imbalanced, what happens, Madyson?
Well, that's when the falls happen, and that's what we want to prevent, because they're never good. Even if you're able to get back up and keep moving, we just want to prevent all of that unnecessary drama.
So isn't that interesting? You learned about the importance of balance.
Yes,
it is key.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Yeah. Anything else about your website or what we can find on it?
Those are the main things. Yeah. It's been such a joy, too, to kind of connect with the New Mexico Department of Aging and Long-Term Services. I was able to talk to some senators, actually, for our state about the program and kind of discuss what that could mean for the senior adults in our state. I've been able...
You mean your Get Going Now program?
Yes, and I was able to present at their annual conference on aging, which was super important and special for me because, of course, I want to be an advocate for the senior adults in our state. So there's been some very amazing opportunities that have come from both Get Going and, of course, being Miss New Mexico.
What did you do at the Agency on Aging conference?
So I was a guest speaker, so I was able to present for about 8 minutes, which was amazing. There was around 1,500 people there, and many of them were senior adults, many of them were caretakers, so it was important to let them know that I see them and I understand them, and that there are people my age that want to support senior adults. I feel like sometimes there's this weird disconnect between generations, and that's why I think it's so important for people my age, so being 21, anybody, teenagers, that area, to be able to kind of bridge those gaps and really support senior adults.
What kind of reception did you get at the conference?
It was very special. I will say I'm a very emotional person when it comes to those kind of things. There were many moments where I felt almost brought to tears because of the support and just kindness I received from so many individuals that I had never met before. To be able to make that connection and just meet these people where they were at, it was incredible.
Other than being online with Get Going Now, it's an online program, how could you incorporate it into the state? I mean, the state could offer this website to seniors, or is there an active in-person proponent of this Get Going Now?
Working with that, I would love to be able to travel and be able to share some of these courses. I am a certified group fitness instructor, so I am able to provide classes to senior adults in that capacity. With graduating recently, I now have more time, so I'm really hoping to be able to travel a bit, maybe attend some different senior adult homes and provide that in-person resource to people.
As well. You're a busy young lady, 21 years old. This new year, 2026, you have a lot to do leading up to the mid-June program when you will be passing on your tiara to the next Miss New Mexico 2026. But from now until then, you're sharing with us on the program a little bit about the process of the pageant. The interviewing component is the first.
Yes, yes.
And you appreciate that because it's helped you, of course, on this program. You're doing a perfect job in front of the Agency on Aging when you're applying for your physical therapy license.
Yes, yes. Even this is something crazy that I learned competing. I honestly felt like I was preparing to run for governor, which is a crazy thing to say, but to be able to learn so much about our state, the ins and outs, the different parts of our government at such a young age, I think even that in itself is very empowering for the program.
Isn't that wonderful? And you're kind of forced to do that, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we're learning about all these things because you need it for that process.
Yes.
So the interview is the first. There are 4 components of the pageant?
Then there's the modeling. So we have the evening gown modeling, which I absolutely love. It's really special getting to find a gown that kind of fits your personality, that you feel kind of can show your poise and grace on stage. So there's that portion, and then there's a fitness portion as well.
Fitness, that seems like it might be relatively new, the fitness portion?
It is. It's kind of also for body positivity, empowerment, ensuring that young girls, often with pageants, there's this stigma of different problems with eating or being too focused on the way your body appears. But the idea with the fitness program instead is to build strong young women, people who maybe they enjoy running, maybe they enjoy weightlifting. It's really supposed to be an empowerment of keep moving, because if we start now at our young age, ideally we can still be moving as we age, which of course is important to me considering get going. So that's kind of where that comes in. You get to, it's more of like a fun modeling. It's like you're a little bit bouncy, you're a little bit peppy on stage. And to me, it honestly feels like a big dance party on stage when we're doing the fitness modeling.
The fitness modeling, and there are points for that. You have the points for the interview, the points for the evening gown modeling,
Yes.
and now the fitness is the new. Now, is that in swimwear or?
No, so it's athletic wear, and it's sponsored by Rebel Athletic, which has been a cheer brand. Now they have some more dance-related clothes as well, but it's very kind of them to kind of sponsor us, especially at Miss America. We received our own Rebel swag bag that had many different types of clothing items, our Rebel shoes, everything that we would need for that week.
So is there a swimsuit competition as well?
No, so the fitness is what replaced the swimsuit.
How many years ago was that? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, it's been a few years though.
So no swimsuit competition.
No.
Maybe the Miss. This is Miss America.
Yes.
Perhaps the Miss USA has a swimsuit.
They do have swimsuit,
Okay,
but Miss
so it's a
America
little different.
switched to fitness.
Okay, fitness.
But it was really neat at Miss America. So after you win Miss New Mexico, you advance to Miss America, and on that stage, you actually submit a bunch of videos of you participating in some kind of fitness, and they play that behind you while you're modeling. And so it kind of shows, this is what I do to stay healthy, this is what I do to stay fit, this is how I'm empowering my body and ensuring that I'm healthy. And so for me, I was able to share videos of me dancing on point, which I've been doing for years and years. So that was special to share on the Miss America stage. Of course, there's components that I shared of me lifting weights and going on hikes with my dog, Maverick. And it's kind of a sweet way to share more than just the girl on the stage. It kind of gives a glimpse further into, normal life for us.
How wonderful. Then after the fitness.
Yes, there is a
modeling.
talent portion.
Okay.
Which, again, as a dancer, I absolutely love the talent portion. I have been dancing since the age of 2, so I was able to choreograph my own lyrical.
Age of 2, mother.
Yes.
What does this mean? Age of 2. How do you begin dancing at 2 years old?
There's classes for 2-year-olds. I'm not sure how much dancing we did, but we were learning how to follow instructions, which can be important as well. We learned, probably how to walk on our tippy toes, maybe make a couple of different shapes like our passes. But
age 2 and then through elementary you danced?
Yes, in middle and high school. And
what
I
did you do in
still
high school
dance.
at Rio Rancho High School?
I was a part of the athletic training program, which kind of feeds into physical therapy. That's actually where I found my passion for physical therapy. We were able to work with a lot of the sports teams, like the football players, even the cheerleaders. We kind of helped tape them up before they had practice or games, and then ensure that if there was an injury that they were taken care of.
But did you dance at Rio Rancho?
I did not. I danced at Magnify Dance Center, which is where I've danced my whole life. And that's kind of where I received my technical training from. And then when I graduated, I signed a contract with the New Mexico Ballet Company, which is our professional company here in town. So I dance with both our professional company, and sometimes I'm able to guest artist and go home to my sweet Magnify family.
What kind of performances do you do with the New Mexico Ballet Company?
Since it's a ballet company, everything is mostly ballet based. Of course, we do some contemporary or some neoclassical works. We actually just did our performances of The Nutcracker, but we've done many other reps, such as we're doing Aladdin soon, we've done The Wizard of Oz. We even did a Great Gatsby ballet, which was very unique and different, but all of that kind of plays into why I love the talent portion of Miss New Mexico and Miss
And
America
how did
so
you
much.
feel dancing in June in Alamogordo for the Miss New Mexico title, and then for the Miss America, I think that was in Orlando?
Yes.
How was dancing ballet on stage in front of the audience?
Well, it was amazing. And of course, I choreographed my own lyrical piece, which is kind of vulnerable. You kind of put yourself out there. You're sharing kind of your own work process, how your own mind works with so many people. But it was amazing. I danced to One Moment in Time by Whitney Houston, and it was really just choreographed to capture the essence of this was my one moment in time. So competing in June, I really just left everything out there because it was a one moment in time. And then of course being able to rework that and take it to the Miss America stage as well. And standing on that stage after watching the competition for so many years as a kid, it really was that one moment in time. So it was very surreal and special to be able to share my talent and my heart for dance in that capacity.
But you were prepared, right? It was
Yes,
surreal.
so
but
many
you
hours
were
of practice,
prepared
yes.
How did you feel with the questionnaire, with the ballroom gown, with the active modeling, and then with your performance? How did you feel you did? Your best that you could?
Absolutely. That was my one request for the week, was to walk away feeling totally confident in the way that I presented myself. I'm grateful to be able to say that I came home with that feeling. There is nothing I would have changed.
No regrets. That's
none at all, which is incredible.
You gave it all.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That you feel that way.
Yes, yes, it was amazing. And one other aspect of competition as well that I probably should mention, it's important, is an on-stage question. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking.
Oh, I thought that was
yes.
the questionnaire part. Oh,
Yeah,
no, that
so,
was a ooh.
Yeah, so we have interview to start, and those are 10 minutes long. But then on stage, you have a 30-second question that can be any range of topics. It can be anything from a political question to something about your community service initiative. So you really have to be prepared for anything because those 30 seconds go by very quickly.
What was your question and what was your answer?
Oh, man. Well, at state, my very first question was about my community service initiative.
That's
I
nice.
had a question about how can I get other young individuals involved, which is super important. So I just discussed being in a space where you can work with a senior adult yourself, I think is so important for people my age, because once you're able to build those connections with senior adults, I feel like you may have the same calling that I have. There's a incentive and a purpose to serve the senior adults. And so
that was a good.
That's what I shared.
That was a good question.
Kind of
We were really
building those
prepared for that one.
connections to hopefully.
So at the Miss
care.
America pageant, what was your
And
question?
then at Miss America, they had asked me, oh man, I actually don't really remember my question. They had asked something about legislation in my community service initiative. Yes, so, you know, easy question.
Good.
I actually had found there is a Safe House Act within legislation right now that was trying to be passed, and it's kind of making its way through, but it was basically to ensure that with Medicare and their annual checkups that there is a necessity to have a physical therapy assessment, which is very important for fall prevention.
Wow.
So at least I had something to speak
You're
to.
21 years old, knowing about, you're an incredible young woman.
Yeah. So, you know,
so you felt no regrets at the
but
pageant. You did your best.
yes.
You had
yes.
fun.
It was incredible.
You made lifelong friends.
Yes. My sweet roommate, you actually room with another state, and so I met Miss New Jersey. Her name's Belle Nicholas. We've been in touch even now that I'm home. It was the most sweet friendship. We really looked forward to every night getting to come back to our hotel room and kind of debrief on our highs and lows from the day and kind of cheer each other on and be that extra support.
She was a state right next to Miss New York,
Yes.
who won the pageant.
Yes. Yeah. So it was very
a little
sweet.
bittersweet. She's a little close.
Yes, it was very sweet, yeah. I was actually holding Miss New York's hand when they called her up into the top 10 at Miss America, which was very sweet as well.
Very wonderful. Madyson Kettler, what a delight you are. What a great representative you are of the state of New Mexico.
Thank you.
At this pageant and as you travel around the state. I know you have a Facebook page. You have
Yes.
followers, like 1.8 thousand followers, and you're lots where they can find out. I know you go to a lot of different events.
Yes,
A lot of
yes.
supporting as you wear this crown. You were at the Balloon Fiesta. You do a lot of things in Alamogordo, which is the sponsorship city for Miss New Mexico. And there are some sponsors. I think UNM is sponsoring as a sponsor. I think there's a flower shop as well.
Yes.
And another foundation. What have I not asked you that you'd like to share about this pageant and about what it means in young people's lives?
I think I'd like to talk about the mentorship a little bit. I've been able to discuss kind of what it means to compete, but there is such a mentorship aspect. We have a Little Sisters program where young girls can actually be involved during the pageant week, and there's a special day kind of set aside for them in June where they get to learn a dance that they then get to share on stage during the Miss New Mexico finals, which is very sweet. But during this time, each contestant is partnered up with one of these special, sweet young girls, and you're able to kind of ask them questions about what they like, get to know them a little bit, make them feel really special, which is so important in mentorship, to kind of have that role model, someone who is invested in these young girls' lives, their futures.
Did they have that when you were through the program? Did they have a mentor when you were, were
I did not, I didn't know about it when I was young. I wish I had, which is why I want to share about it now, because it is so important. And even now, carrying this title, going to events, some of the most sweet parts of being Miss New Mexico is being able to meet young girls who sometimes say, someday I want to be just like you. And when they say that, I like to remind them, that's sweet, but I want you to be you. I want you to grow into the best you can be, and of course you can be Miss New Mexico. Of course, work for that, but don't be me. Give it your own flair, give it your own sparkle.
Terrific role model you have. What a gift to be able to be a role model when we need positive role models this time and place in this world.
Yes, it's a huge responsibility, and so I think even for girls considering competing, keep that in mind. Know that there's going to be so many young girls who look up to you, and it is very sweet, but it also is an important responsibility.
It is very much. Madyson Kettler, Miss New Mexico 2025, Get Going Now program. You've got your degree in as exercise for seniors. You hope to get your physical therapy degree and work to improve our state. Are you hoping to stay in New Mexico?
Absolutely. I'm born and raised here, and I am not leaving. I love our state, I love our community, and I would absolutely love to serve our senior adults here in our state.
And the importance of having purpose and having a passion. What would you like to tell the young people about finding their passion?
I would say look really deep. I think that sometimes people struggle to find a passion, but it doesn't have to be that difficult. For me, my passion came starting from my grandparents. Something as sweet as their love for me started my passion. And of course, movement played a role in that, being a dancer. But what I never could have imagined is the way that those worlds would collide, my care for senior adults and movement. And that's how the passion was born. It was as simple as finding a couple of things that I love and realizing that they come together so easily.
Madyson Kettler, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Best of luck in your life, and again, being an inspiration to all of us.
Thank you, Diane.
Appreciate you. Thank you for watching. I'm Diane Kinderwater. Make it a great week and a great year for you and your family. Bye-bye.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program, email us at info@kchftv.org or call us at 505-345-1991. Join us again for Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater.